Most women can sense it, but hardly anyone says it out loud. Female friendships sometimes come with hidden rules. They're not written down, nobody explains them, but you can feel them when they're there. And when you don't recognize what's happening, those rules can leave you hurt and confused about why you're getting left out. Now, let me be clear, not every friendship is like this. There are wonderful, strong, loyal friendships between women. But the reason some friendships are so painful is that unspoken expectations creep in. You're supposed to act a certain way and hide certain parts of yourself or play a role that doesn't actually fit who you are. I had no idea what these rules were. I don't know why, but groups of female friends have often felt really stressful for me, like they were all speaking some language I didn't understand. And that language, it's the female rules. And they're not that different from group to group. If you don't want the rules or if you don't go along with them, you might notice that even though everyone is saying nice things and smiling, the group feels closed to you. And you find yourself feeling small and insecure and afraid to be your real self. But the good news is, once you become aware of these rules, you can see them for what they are, a way that some women feel connected with each other, and you play along or not, especially when those rules play out as something toxic. So let's break down the rules. First, the version that you probably recognize from groups of women who have excluded you, and then the alternative version that's what you really want. So female friend group, rule number 1 is never outshine the queen bee. Now, in some groups, one woman takes on the role of unspoken leader. She may not admit it, she may even act humble about it, but everyone else knows. She sets the tone. What she thinks is funny, everyone else laughs at. What she says about someone else, positive or negative, becomes the group consensus. And if you cross her, you might notice the group starts to distance from you. Invitations dry up. People stop responding to your texts. You might not even realize you've outshined her. Maybe you wore a nicer outfit. Maybe someone complimented you in front of her. Maybe you got attention from the guy she wanted. It doesn't matter that you weren't trying to compete. What matters is that she felt it. Now, in real friendship, it doesn't work like that. A grounded, secure friend isn't threatened when you shine. She's happy for you. She's proud to stand next to you. She doesn't need you to shrink for her to feel okay. And that's the difference between someone who's playing power games and someone who actually loves you. Rule number 2 is everybody in the group must be equally miserable. Something that a lot of people do, especially among women, is bonding by sharing struggle stories. Now, if everyone's complaining about men, you're not supposed to admit that you're happily dating. And if everyone is hating their bodies, you can't be the one who feels confident in your body. If others are struggling financially, you might feel pressure to hide your own success. Why? Because in clique dynamics, closeness is tied to matching pain. It's like an agreement you make. And if you're not matching that energy, you could end up feeling like the odd one out. And you're not imagining it. People whose identity is pain and complaining get uncomfortable if you aren't playing along. They interpret it as looking down on them, and they'll find little ways to put you down to get you back and put down your success or accuse you of being stuck up or being fake. You know, healthy friendships work differently. They leave space for both the hard days and the good days. And when things are going well for you, a true friend is genuinely glad. She celebrates with you instead of trying to pull you back down. And when life is really hard, she can sit with you there too, without needing you to stay stuck forever. Rule number 3 is always agree with the group's judgment of someone. Sometimes female friendships can create unspoken agreements about who is in and who is out. And if the group decides someone is annoying, you're expected to agree. If the group says someone is crazy, you're expected to say, mm-hmm. And if you dare to say, actually, I like her, the energy can shift against you. Somebody has to be the scapegoat. And this is why gossip can feel so powerful. It isn't just chatter. It's a way of testing loyalty. It's a way of saying, are you with us or against us? And if you don't fall in line, you risk being judged yourself. So friendship doesn't have to work that way. In strong, healthy circles, you're allowed to have your own opinions. You don't have to tear someone down just to belong. Real loyalty isn't about joining the gossip. It's about trusting each other enough not to need it. All right, rule number 4, don't grow too much. Because when you start working on yourself, healing, building confidence, setting boundaries, you might notice some friendships start to feel strained. Their jokes don't land anymore. The gossip feels draining. The negativity starts to wear on you. And when you pull back even a little bit, it can be seen as betrayal. And that's because some friendships rely on sameness. We all think the same way. We all feel the same way. We all struggle in the same way. But when you grow, you break that rule of sameness. Have you ever seen like girls who are, I don't know, between like 13, 14, 15, walking down the street in a group? They'll be wearing almost identical outfits. That's what they do. They're matching what the queen bee wears. They're doing sameness. That's totally age appropriate for them. So when grown women are doing the sameness game and trying to create this environment where you have to fit in, it's a form of immaturity, isn't it? The healthier way is totally different. True friends want you to rise. They're not afraid when you step into confidence. They're inspired by it. They might even ask you how you did it. Strong friendships don't trap you at the level where you first met. They don't demand that you dress alike. They expand their lives just as you expand yours. These friendships give room for change, and they actually get better as you evolve. Rule number 5. Never call out bad behavior. Now, in some friendships, the unspoken agreement is, I won't confront you if you don't confront me. And if a friend makes a mean joke at your expense, you're supposed to let it slide. If she flakes on you over and over, you're supposed to shrug it off. If she betrays your trust, you're supposed to forgive quickly and not make drama. Drama, right? And when you do speak up, when you actually say that wasn't okay, you might get treated as the problem. Real friendship can handle honesty. You can say, that hurt me, and a real friend cares enough to listen. If she messed up, she apologizes and she makes it right. And if you mess up, she expects the same from you. Healthy friendships don't fall apart when someone speaks the truth. They actually get stronger. Okay, rule number 6, your problems are welcome, but your solutions are not. You've probably had the experience. Your friend vents about the same issues again and again. You finally try to help. You offer a solution. You suggest she deserves better. And suddenly she's upset with you. You're told you're not being supportive. The unspoken rule is you're allowed to listen and nod, but you're not supposed to actually help, because if the problem gets solved, the dynamic of the friendship has to change. And some people don't want that. All right. In healthy friendships, encouragement isn't off limits. You can brainstorm, you can challenge each other, you can want better for each other without it being seen as betrayal. That doesn't mean you force advice when it's not wanted. It means you both respect each other enough to offer real help, not just endless sympathy. All right, rule number 7, you're not supposed to have boundaries. In some friendships, you're expected to always be available. If a friend wants to talk for hours, you're supposed to pick up. If she texts you at midnight, you're supposed to respond. If she asks you to cancel plans, you're supposed to do it. And if you say no, you're selfish. You're not being a good friend. This is why so many women end up exhausted and resentful and spread too thin. They confuse self-abandonment with loyalty. Now, the truth is, real friendship respects boundaries. If you say, I can't talk tonight, a true friend doesn't guilt trip you. She understands. And when you do give your time, it's valued because she knows you chose it freely. Healthy friendships don't demand self-sacrifice. They thrive on mutual respect and space. So let's step back. Why do these hidden rules feel so powerful? A lot of it goes back to childhood trauma. When kids grow up in environments where they feel unsafe, they learn to scan the room, right? To read everyone else's emotions, to suppress their own needs, just to avoid rejection. And those patterns, they can just carry right into adulthood. They show up in friendships. And that's why some friendships can feel like survival. It's not just about who likes you. It feels like your whole sense of belonging is on the line. But once you recognize the pattern, you don't have to play by those rules anymore. And when you start setting new boundaries, you'll notice who's really there for you. Some friendships will just fall away, and that it hurts. I know it hurts. But what falls away are the ones who were never strong and real enough to really be your friend. What remains, or what begins to form, are friendships that are real. And this is where your own friendship skills can lift up those relationships and form them into the kind of lifelong friendships that we all crave. If you want to deepen your friendship skills, I have this free download, by the way, with tips you can use immediately to get better at being a friend. And I'll put that down in the top row of the description section so you can get a copy of that for yourself. All right, now here's the tough love. You may go through a season of loneliness before you find those healthier friendships. And that's the part nobody wants to hear, because trauma can leave us so afraid to be alone that we'll cling to any friendship, even a toxic one. But sometimes letting go of the wrong people is the only way to make space for the right ones. Now, here's the hope. When you do find those healthier friendships, everything changes. You don't have to compete. You don't have to dim yourself. You don't have to hide your joy or your growth. You can finally relax knowing that your friend isn't waiting for you to mess up. She's standing right there with you through all of it. And if you want to build your skills at connecting with good people, I've written the book that walks you through exactly how to do that. I had to learn how myself. I'll put the link to my book, Connectability, in the second line of the description section below. You might want to check that out. Now, if you've been hurt by the hidden rules of female friendships, I want you to know there is another way. You don't have to keep giving your energy to clique dynamics. Your energy is way better used to build friendships that make you stronger, happier, and more free. We all need good friends, friends who inspire us and lift us up, and friends who want the best for us. Now you're becoming that kind of friend, warm, trustworthy, present. And now these are the kinds of friends who are drawn to you. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Today, what's happening is your own behavior. And the worse you were hurt back then, the more likely it is that you have a pattern of hurting yourself now.